So now we're going to start making chords for this passage, all right? So I'm not going to be looking at this too much. I'm just going to be making my own chords because, like we did in the last tutorial, we're going to start chord building. Also, I just want to preface by saying I made these melody, like this MIDI data myself. I know you can go on Google and type in like MIDI data for blank song, but I really recommend if you want to learn more about melodies, you should just hear the song and try to find out what the notes are. I did this in about 2 minutes. I got really good at it by doing it like my whole life. So, alright, so I'm gonna do this completely from scratch. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm gonna show you how I do it using my ears, using what I know, and I'm gonna tell you about it. So let's get started. So. I'm gonna put this here. Okay, so the first thing I did was put this here. Why did I put this there? Well, when you start out knowing that this is the tonic, I'm going to assume that that this chord is not a major chord. If this was a major chord, so why did I put this down here instead of building up? I could have put this up here. Well, the reason why is because I kind of build down when I know that the tonic is the singing note, because chords sound better below the melody. But it's a little easier to think upwards instead of downwards, so I'm going to build up and then I'm going to transpose it down. So the first thing I did was I made a major triad. This is what a lot of people might do first, but I personally don't think it's going to work. So let's transpose it down. Alright, so it doesn't sound bad, but I think we can do better. So the first thing I'm going to do is move this up here. Alright, so that does sound better. The reason why is because I had a feeling that, just like in the Marina and the Diamond song I analyzed in the last episode, I have a feeling that this is minor. Now let's listen to the beginning of the song and see if maybe this subconsciously helped me realize that it was minor. Because I knew it was minor before I put the note in. Alright, let's make this MIDI right now. Let's just make it right now, and I'll show you how fast it is. Whoops. Gotta turn this down. Let me close my email. So there's clearly chords going there. Alright, do you hear those notes? Alright, hold on, I'm going to pause and I'm going to come back. Alright, do you hear the do-do? It's like a really quiet do-do. You have to get better at hearing harmonies if you want to get good at melodies. It's pretty hard at first to hear harmonies, but you get good at it. Do-do. So I'm going to find out what that is. Do. It's this. So because I heard this intro before I started the tutorial, I subconsciously knew that it was a minor chord over here, because good song form requires consistency. It requires repetition. So I had a feeling. So now I'm going to ignore, okay, let's just do one more. There's a duh duh. So let's know what that note. Duh duh. It's this one. Alright, so this is, what? I think Ellie Goulding actually made a mistake, and I don't think her producer caught it. And I know that pop music, it's perfect, but this is why I think she made a mistake. So here, you can hear an F sharp and an A, right? Alright, or actually is it, yeah, F sharp and A sharp. Alright, that sounds right. That's those notes, right? Well, so here she messed up, because if this is truly copying, the form, then just like that, it should have been A sharp, C sharp, and then A sharp, F sharp instead of G sharp. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that she messed up and it went into the song, because even when I first heard it, I was like, that doesn't sound right. So yeah, even pop producers make mistakes. Don't let anything stop you. All right, so anyway. Da, da. on, let's figure this out. Alright, so what's she doing? She's moving down in thirds for each step of the way. Alright, so now I'm going to build this knowing that. So now that I know that, we know that this is definitely this chord. If you guys want me to release like these Ableton projects or just like bounce these as MIDI to give to you, I can definitely do that. Just leave a comment asking. So let's see what... I'm not going to make chords for each of these notes because it doesn't really matter. It's just her leading. These are like neighbor tones or passing tones or whatever. Alright, so the reason why I think that so I'm going to explain each note. I have a feeling that it's this F sharp because listen to this. Tension, pull right there. See, tension, release. So let's just make a third one because we're going to do 3 notes per chord. So it could be this, or it could be this. They both could work, but I am going to assume that it's going to be this. Because the reason why is because the thing that pulls is this F to the F sharp. This is just this note, but down an octave, so. And the reason why I'm moving the C sharp down an octave is because when she's singing, she's going da 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 da. You don't want another harmony right here over her, because then it sounds like she's going da 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 da. And then this downward motion that you have here, the da 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 da, that gets lost if you put that harmony up there. So I'm taking this C sharp and I'm moving it down here. It's staying in the chord. The main thing that's changing is the F to the F sharp. Does that work? I don't know. Let's listen. That doesn't sound very good either. Alright, so in a situation like this where neither of them like actually improve the sound of the chord. Alright, so this is what's going on. Sometimes you encounter this. Basically what's happening is you want both of them to go in. Alright, so when you add another one below it, it just ruins it because then it takes away from this F going up when you have another thing just going down. So we're going to just not have a third one. Yeah, that sounds better. I'm going to turn this up and I'm going to turn this down. Whoa, that's too loud. Alright, so do do. So in my head, I hear duh, just because I guess I'm good or something. So this is what I heard in my head with my psychic powers or something. Oh, I guess it was this, but do do do. I also hear do. All right, I know that's not very helpful because I'm sure a lot of you try to make chords and you're like, none of them work. The only answer I can give is all right, let me try to figure this out because I make chords all the time just because I'm so like I do it all the time, but. Let's just raise these up. Alright, here's why. Because remember earlier I was talking about these two sound like tonics. And then these are both tensions. So these are going to be the same chord. Alright, so why does that work? Why am I right? So I'm right because earlier in the song I knew that whatever chord would be here and whatever chord would be for this note, I'm gonna get rid of that. So whatever chord would be for this note and then this note, they would both have to be tensions. They would both have to help with the tension feel because of, you know, you just hear it. You just have to hear it. And if you can't hear it, you will. You just have to think like I do. You have to think, okay, is this pulling? Is it pushing? And you'll figure it out. Like, you just have to have an ear for it. And everyone can have an ear for it if they think. Let's move this down. This is getting a little long. Let's just keep going. And then she does it again, and then here she makes a mistake. All right, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up. And she goes, "Let's a 5, 5, 5." Oh, I do have to point this out. So, as many of you know, Ellie Goulding dated Skrillex, and one thing that Skrillex does a lot in his music is he takes people's vocals and he like makes them super low, so they sound like this. And I think it's a little bit of a coincidence that in this song, right here. All right, do you hear that? There's like, and we're gonna let it burn. Like, there's like a really low. And we're gonna let it. Do you hear it? And we're gonna let it. Here, you know what? I'm just gonna throw an EQ on this. You can hear it. And we're gonna. You can just hear it right here. And we're gonna let it. And we're gonna let it. And we're gonna let it. Do you hear it? And we're gonna let it. And we're gonna let it. Yeah, so in my opinion, I think that I think Skrillex did that. I think I don't know, maybe he was there when she was recording, or maybe she sent it to him. He was like, "Oh, let me just throw this down here." But it definitely sounds like I have a feeling that he helped out. Because I don't know if they were dating when she made this or not, but, you know, okay, so I just wanted to point that out. That's just my theory. And we're gonna let it burn, 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 burn. We're gonna let it burn, burn, burn. Alright, so let's look at this real quick. I know, I tell myself, you know, let's make this a 7-minute video, but it always ends up being like 20 minutes. Burn, burn, burn. We're gonna let it burn. Alright. Alright, so what this is the synth melody. So if we get rid of all this junk. Alright, so that's the synth melody. And then what's this? Oh, I turned up the wrong thing. Alright, so that's her vocal melody. So I put the synth on top of it. So let's look at these together and see what they do. Alright, so clearly the synth is doing the earlier vocal melody. But before, instead, it went down to a D. So she went, and now the synth is going, and then instead of going, it's going, because she's already down on that D sharp. Look, see? So she's already going, burn, burn, so the synth is going to do a C. So why a C and a D sharp? Well, where's the tonic? It's the C sharp. So if you move this up, these are both pulling down. This one's pulling down towards C, and this one's pulling up towards C. So you're kind of, it's like they're both pushing. Okay, when I say push and pull, it mostly means the same thing, but they're both pushing towards C. So then when she goes back here, we're gonna let it burn. This is C on a C. So when it repeats, it's the same thing. So I'm just gonna duplicate this. Boom, 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 boom. See, so this is pulling up, this is pulling down. And then her voice is a little bow. That's so funny. I don't know why people think that sounds good. I think that sounds cheesy as hell, but anyway. Alright, so let's look at these chords. So this is obviously the same as the last one. So this is the same. And this goes up here. This is gonna go da na 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 na. Alright, so how did you know that? Well, you know, I heard it. And I knew that this was here because of when we were looking at this one, this melody earlier, it went like that. So this is gonna obviously gonna go. Whoops. Let's listen. Alright, I'm right again. Okay, let's go. Alright, that's right. Da na na na. So let's. Alright, it's gonna be that. And it's just gonna repeat again. Alright, sweet, we figured it out. So let's just listen to it by itself. Alright, sweet, I learned the chords, I made them. You just have to, the best way to do it is to know, alright, that's gonna go ba, cause that's boom, tension, whoops, tension, release, and then tension, tension, release. The reason why this is, actually, you know what, that's not a tension, because then this would be down here. If this was a tension, it would be down here. But clearly she's singing burn, 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 burn. So this is tension, release, tension. Okay, my mouse keeps slipping and it keeps hitting this D, so it doesn't sound good. Honestly, I could sit here all day telling, oh, well, it's because, you know, this note moves here, which is, you know, this or this. But when you use your ears and you just type it in, do you see how fast I did it? Like, I literally clicked it and I went up one, I went down one, and then I like highlighted it and I heard it and I said, oh, yeah, that's it. So once you develop an ear for it, and you can use my little tips and tricks. Like, all right, so one tip I would say to use is the first thing you do when you make a chord. So let's say you didn't know any of this. You just let's say you didn't know any of this, right? And you just know this, and you're like, okay, what are the chords for this G sharp? Well, you can hear her first of all. She can sing. She's singing that C sharp, so you already know it's that. But if you didn't know it was that, let's just say you didn't even know she wasn't even singing for that part. All right, how would you know what this chord is? I'm going to fix this, by the way. This was originally there. So you would know because from here, if we go back here, do you hear that? Like that alone is an answer. Like, sounds bad, sounds good. Like, once you figure that out, sounds bad, sounds good. Sounds bad, sounds good. Sounds bad, sounds bad. I know I'm kind of being like a jerk right now, but like if you really just try like to move around, you'll get so good at it that you will just immediately know, just like me. And even I don't immediately know every time. Like sometimes I gotta figure it out. Alright, so over here I was just messing around. I guess I'll just explain since this video is already super long, but... So basically I was just having fun here, like I was just seeing what chords would go good. But then I messed up and I was like, has nothing to do with it. Alright, I hope this helped. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry for the video being so long, I might cut it up. But if I don't, I hope you were able to pay attention. I should probably cut it up, though. All right. See you guys later. Thanks for all the support. I really appreciate all the nice comments. I read all of them. Thank you so much.